Good morning, everybody. So, prices are climbing, and as we all know, most of our silver comes from out of the country. And with the tariffs that have been levied against almost every other country on the globe, what do we do? There's been a huge tariff placed on copper coming into the country. And what you may or may not know is that up in the forgotten part of Michigan, we have several copper mines right up here in the lovely Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Yeah, everybody goes there to snowmobile, run their ORVs, ATVs, to ski during the winter, to see beautiful things that God put there, like Pictured Rock National Lakeshore, and all the waterfalls. There's actually a waterfall tour where you can basically do a loop around the UP and see all the waterfalls and stuff like that. But many years ago, there was a lot going on up there industrial wise. A lot of your toilet paper and Kleenex came from a paper plant in the city of Munising. Your notebook paper came from a paper plant in Manistee. And the copper that was turned into wiring for your home or your car or other such things came out of copper mines up in what they refer to as copper country, which is this part of the Upper Peninsula right here. Well, then, because, as I said at the beginning, the forgotten, well, they closed all those down. All those people lost their jobs, and we started getting everything from overseas. Well, in my opinion, if you want this stuff to go down in price, just wait for a minute. All these mines are supposed to be opening either by the end of this year or the beginning of the first part of next year. And what may not be known is where there's copper, there's silver. And that's an actual known fact. They have several museums up there you can go into where they actually show you what they pull out of the mines. So, the phrase killing two birds with one stone. Where there's silver, there's copper. Where there's copper, there's silver. And maybe even some gold in there somewhere. Will it knock prices way down? No. But when it comes to this stuff, because I know at the very beginning, I was like, oh, we're going to need these because, the president at the time was going to make it, you have to get an electric vehicle. Well, yeah, they're still out there. They're not pushing them like they were, but they're still out there. People are still buying them. And you need the copper for the motors in those electric vehicles. You still need copper for the wiring for your house. I don't know if they're still doing copper plumbing because the big push now is the blue and red PVC type stuff. But yes, we're still going to need copper. And if we don't want the prices going through the roof, we need to start mining it here, which is part of the plan. And let's sit back and see where it goes. I know for the time being, prices are going to be pretty high on everything that includes copper until we start mining for silver here. Silver is going to be up. I do feel that it's the price of silver is being manipulated, but you know, it is what it is, and they will do what they want to do. But let's think positive. This is going to happen. And by the way, I know my experiment is starting to take place. I left this sitting on the windowsill for a couple of days, and it definitely changed tone a little bit. It's starting to take on that more of an orange color patina on it. So, but it'll happen. Will it be good? Yes. One, maybe we can cut down the price of the copper that's going into the things that we need. And yes, it's going to put a ton of people back to work, which is a good thing, not only for those people, but for the economy, because this is the forgotten part of Michigan. In my lifetime, I've only seen 2 U.S. presidents step foot in the Upper Peninsula. One was George W. Bush, and the other was Barack Obama. Never saw the first Bush, and even back to Reagan, because I mean, I really don't remember much about Carter or Gerald Ford when he finished out Nixon's term. So can't really say too much about those two. Reagan, the first Bush, Clinton, Biden, and we've still got time for Trump. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Only two presidents in my lifetime have stepped foot in the Upper Peninsula. When our candidates for governor, I can never spit out that other word. When they make their campaign runs around Michigan, none of them ever end up here. And there's just as many people up here with voter registration cards as anywhere else. But that's the forgotten land. Let's make the UP great again. All right, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up for today. But just keep in mind, a little bit of relief is coming, because they're opening them back up. And that's coming straight from people that I know that live up there. So keep stacking, keep hunting. If you like this stuff, keep collecting. Keep hanging on to those copper pennies. We'll see you soon. Have a great day, everybody. Mishy's out.